Billy's Booger, a memoir, sorta, by William Joyce and his younger self. Once upon a time, when TV was in black and white and there were only 3 channels, and when kids didn't have play dates, they just roamed free in the out of doors, there lived a kid named Billy. Billy loved monster movies and cartoons and comic books and something called the funny papers. During the week, the funnies were small and in black and white, but on Sundays, they were huge and in color, and if you spread them all out, they would fill a room. And sometimes a whole day. Billy wished school was more like the funny papers, but his efforts at making math more fun were not entirely successful. Billy also found regular sports too regular. He did much better at sports he invented, but the PE teacher didn't entirely agree. Every now and then, Billy would get sent home from school with a note, but his parents always wrote back, you should see the stuff he does at home. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Billy, your son has been very odd as of late, and while we always try to encourage creativity, we cannot condone full-fledged blah, 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 blah. Then, one day, Mrs. Pagely, the librarian, announced there would be a contest to see which kid could make the best kids' book. Oh, Billy's brain was about to explode. He asked the librarians for books on many different subjects. Meteors, mythology, space travel, and mucus. What have I done? Mrs. Pagely worried. For the next few days, Billy thought and read and wrote and drew. Well, his nose is certainly to the grindstone, said Billy's dad. I wonder what kind of note he'll get this time, said his sister. But Billy didn't hear them. He was living the dream. The name of his book? Billy's Booger, the memoir of a little green nose buddy. Chapter 1, I am sneezed. I was just a regular booger inside the regular nose of a regular kid named Billy. All the other boogers were there, Nick and Ed on the left, me and Curly on the right. We were watching Billy do his math. Billy went exploring, so we had to hide. He's been biting his nails again, said Curly. Must be a math test coming up, said Ed. Too bad we can't help him, I said. Right then, way, way, way in outer space, a star sneezed, and out came this meteorite that zoomed all the way to Earth and through Billy's window. Sniffle, sniffle, little star. Achoo! Look out below! The meteorite bonked Billy right on the top of his head. We were all knocked out cold. Then Billy sneezed, and out I came. Bonk! Achoo! Me. Chapter 2, Super Booger! When we woke up, I had incredible math powers and was green, really, really green. And I decided that I would use my powers to help poor Billy out. Though only a booger, I will help you become the world's greatest mathematical genius. Hey, gee, thanks, sure, pal. And a super booger. Well, the name Super Booger stuck. I was faster than a speeding spitball, more powerful than the meanest bully. Able to leap tall swing sets with a single sneeze. Achoo! Then Billy started getting superpowers that were amazing and totally different from mine. He could turn green peas into chocolate, and he could fly, which of course meant he could wear a cape, and he could be invisible and generally super interesting all at the same time. please. Don't worry, I'll use my chocolate ray vision. Billy, where are you?
Right here, reciting the encyclopedia backwards. Z, Y, Z.
And with my help, Billy could do the hardest math any teacher ever taught. Even the president asked Billy's math advice.
Billy, can you help me? I've got to know how many candy bars we need to give to all the kids of the US of A.
My calculations show that 4 bazillion candy bars should do it. That's 1,000 candy bars a year per kid.
Thanks, Billy.
Sure, Prez. Chapter 3. And so, Billy became the go-to kid on the whole planet when it came to math stuff and bad guys and supervillains and crime. Nick and Ed and Curly just stayed no side. They got gypped on the superpowers. But whenever they needed a ride, I'd blast out of Billy's nose and we would save the day. Bang! Out, out, and away! That was our motto. The end. Don't bet on it. Published in the USA by Billy, blah, 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 blah. Done entirely in green pen and 1 white pencil. Principal Blissbaum would be the judge for the contest. Billy liked the principal. He got sent to him all the time, especially during the science fair. He called Billy one of my most challenging students ever. So the day the winners were announced, Billy was pretty excited. But he didn't win first place. He didn't win second place. He didn't win third place. He didn't get an honorable mention. He didn't get a note from his teacher. He didn't even get sent to the principal. It was a long walk home. His mom and dad were concerned about him. Even his sister was worried. Billy is so normal now. It's weird. A week or so later, Billy glumly took all the library books back, even the one about mucus. Mrs. Pagely smiled at him in a nutty sort of way. Then Billy heard laughing. Some of his friends and some older kids were at a table reading a book. This is hilarious! I want to check this out next. I do.
This book should have won something.
I put all the contest books in the library, said Mrs. Pagely. But yours is checked out the most, Billy. He hadn't won first or second or third or an honorable mention, but his book was now in the library, and it was checked out the most. This made Billy smile in a Billy sort of way. You got a 20 in imagination, said one of Billy's pals. But Billy didn't hear him. His mind was on fire. He wasn't so normal it was weird anymore, and he was still Mr. Blistrom's most challenging student.
Work on those low scores, Billy. I look forward to what you come up with next year. Mr. Blisterbaum. P.S. You're still my most challenging student.
And the walk home? It was just the beginning of a long, long adventure. The end.